Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream. Live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. And as always, I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can't troubleshoot your problems here live. So welcome everybody. Looks like I'm a little loud here. I'm going to see if I can turn the gain down a little bit. Hello? This always happens to me. There we go. I think that's better. Been playing around with my sound, trying to figure out how this thing works. Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. I'm going to cover the market briefly in the news. And then I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. There is a report from the Cryptocurrency Association, something. I'll give you their name. But they did a poll through a reputable polling company about crypto ownership. So it's a pretty interesting report. I'm going to go through it a little bit so we can kind of get a feel for where the public stands on crypto and crypto adoption. That'll be interesting. There's a lot of great deals going on right now on crypto hardware wallets. So in the beginning of this, I'll go through some of those deals. I don't know what it is about June, but some of them are summer sales, some of them are Father's Day sales. But I'm going to alert you to those. There's a lot of great deals on a lot of different types of hardware wallets, so I'll go through those. Also, I wanted to talk about self-custody and why it's important. I know I've touched on this topic before, but sometimes when I'm driving around, I get inspiration to give you guys a little presentation. So I'm going to attempt to do that. And I've got some reasons why you shouldn't be doing institutional custody and reasons why you should be doing self-custody. I'll explain the difference between them both as well. So let's jump in and see who's here tonight. Thank you guys, everyone, for being here. It's always great to have you guys here with me on a Saturday night. I know it's Flag Day and there's a big parade in Washington. Say what you will, whatever side of the aisle you are on. But I've always been kind of a history buff and a military history buff, a big Civil War buff, just about the battles and the logistics. And I think it's kind of cool that all of these units, historical units in the U.S. Army and all these tanks and stuff are going to be doing a parade. You may not think that, but I think it's kind of cool. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Some of you, I won't blame you if you check out what's going on the parade. I'm hoping I'll be able to watch it on YouTube after the fact and maybe get an overview. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I love my country. Let's see. Let's say hello. I think Kenny's on vacation. So I don't think Kenny's going to be here. I think he went, took a little break from the news and maybe the live stream as well. And that's a well-earned, well-deserved break that Kenny has taken. So I see that Mr. Miskey is here, Andreas Ebert, Simon is here, Hans Hannah 350, Dusted in Shadow, always a pleasure, Wayne Tyler, Gregory Whelan, E. Poston from Colorado, Bernie from mid-Michigan, Paul is here, fine Flag Day, he says, Amsterdam, Holland is here, Fred McIntyre, another man's point of view, Bobby is here, Sunships 5 is here. It starts at, I think the parade starts at 6:30, maybe it's 7. I thought it was, maybe you won't miss that much of it because I'm only going to go for about an hour. No, I start at 6 p.m. It is 6 p.m. Please don't tell me I'm doing this an hour early. Dan is here. Good to have Dan here. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about being in the stream, the logistics of being here. If you look down in the description, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm going to cover tonight. Like I said, I'm going to do a little departure from all the crypto news. We're going to focus on that crypto report of self-custody, which I think is really cool. And then crypto adoption, let's call it, because not everybody uses self-custody. So we'll talk about that report, and then I will talk about self-custody. But I did want to touch on these specials that are going on. It's a Father's Day special for OneKey. All of the links are down here in the description. The OneKey link, the Descent link, the Tangem link, the Ledger Flex Solana Edition link. And if you scroll down a little more here, we've got the Ledger Nano S owners for that upgrade, and then the other affiliate links that I've got for you, and the news stories that I'm going to cover. But before I dive into all the specials, I would like to just mention that my latest video is about synchronization and password issues in Ledger Live. You guys were here for me doing that last week. I just edited that down to a short video and posted it on my channel. But that's the latest one that I have. Also, if we look at video recommendations, I've got Cyber Skrilla here again. I hope this doesn't... Okay, cool. I was hoping the audio wouldn't kick in. So I paused it. This is a great video. Cyber Skrilla focuses on crypto, self-custody, and security and avoiding scams, much like my channel. So I really admire Cyber Skrilla. I wish I was as young as him, but I'm not. But I have been around a little bit longer than him. But yeah, I love his videos, and this is a really good one. Almost everyone in crypto is making at least one of these mistakes, and he goes into a lot of issues that people make mistakes in crypto in general. So he kind of goes between institutional custody and self-custody. Gives a lot of great advice about self-custody in this video. One of the things that he has linked in the description of his video is this post by Zach XBT, who's a crypto sleuth, works with the FBI on tracking down hackers and scammers, but he has a list of crypto influencer shills, the top shills in the industry. And I've always tried to stay objective and to focus on self-custody. I don't recommend coins. I don't do coin analysis. Sometimes I'll do a little bit if someone asks me directly. I might tell you how to buy a certain token or how to put it in a wallet or something like that. But these are the top 25 crypto influencers that shill coins. So pretty interesting little list here. And I'm glad that someone has pointed out that, there are a lot of people on YouTube that are shilling coins for money, right? So anyway, let's go into those deals. I shill wallets, right? Because you should have a wallet, right? So this is the OneKey deal. It's, I believe it started today. It's already on. This is going to go through the 20th. Let me see if I got this right here. Where are we here? Yeah, 13th through 20th. So it just started yesterday, and that's going to go through the 20th. Now it's weird because they had told me that the code was going to be 615, but apparently it's 888. Probably either one will work to get you this promo deal. And they've got a very good selection of cryptocurrency hardware wallets that'll meet any budget. I've got a OneKey Pro here, which I really like. They gave this to me. It's got my picture on it. I'm really proud of this wallet. We can play around with this one in a little bit. But they've got this OneKey Classic that's $100, and then the non-battery version of it, which is very light and is only $79. And they all have pretty much the same security, but the OneKey Pro, their top of the line, has a beautiful touchscreen. So you might want to check out OneKey's deal. Also, Descent Wallet, which is based in Korea, And this is a great little wallet. It fits in your hand, and their focus is on the biometric, right? It's got a fingerprint or thumbprint reader, and it makes it really easy to access your crypto. It's a cool little wallet. Now, their thing does not start until the 16th, which would be Monday. And as you can see, the link that I've provided in the description is a CryptoDad exclusive. They've told me that it's going to be 109 when their event starts. So you might want to check that out. Also, they have this tap to drop. You can sign up for airdrops when you buy one of their wallets. So that's kind of cool too. That's just gravy on top of it. Here's the email that he sent me. There's going to be a special discount for my audience. That's going to be 109 for their wallet, which is pretty cool. There's a $50 airdrop. I think this is more to me than you guys, but just so you know. And then Tangem. The Tangem deal will be ending here in a couple of days, and you can still get 20% off using the CryptoDad checkout code. The link is here in the description. And this holds for the Tangem ring too. You can get 20% off on the Tangem ring, which is a ring that you can wear that also works as a private key. It stores the private key safely and securely on the ring or on the card if you get a card set. And very easy to use, awesome wallets. Ledger Flex Solana edition is still available. Now all you have to do, is own some Solana, right? And you can claim that discount. It'll just verify if you've got some Solana in your wallet. So, and that's a great way to get this limited edition wallet that's got the Solana colors, and you get the magnet folio thrown in, which I think is like $59. So that's a pretty good deal. I don't know how much Solana you'll get. Oh, $20. Oh, well, it's better than nothing, right? And if you have a Ledger Nano S, please upgrade. Please upgrade. All you have to do is connect it and unlock it. And you don't have to sign a transaction or verify that you have any crypto in the wallet. All you have to do is connect it and verify that you have the device, right? It's kind of like the genuine check. They'll verify that you have a Ledger Nano S in your hand and connect it to your computer, and you'll get a 20% discount on any of these 4 wallets. So the 20% on the Ledger STAX, if you had your eye on a $400 Ledger STAX, you can get 20% off if you got an old Ledger Nano S. So please upgrade. Let's see. And then the last one, of course, there's always a CryptoDad special at Ledger when all of the deals are gone and done, and we're all just sitting around wishing we had a crypto wallet. You'll always be able to get a $10 rebate of free Bitcoin when you use my link. So that's it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So this is the thing. The National Crypto Association. Is that it? Yeah. National Cryptocurrency Association. That's the association that performed that survey. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so I see there's a little question here. Can you add a second Ethereum address in your Trezor device? If so, can you show how you can add it? I don't have my Trezor device handy. Although what you should know, and I don't have Trezor Suite installed at the moment. I just reinstalled a bunch of stuff on this computer. I haven't installed Trezor Suite yet. You can add additional Ethereum accounts on a Trezor device in Trezor Suite. The only stipulation is you have to have put a little bit of crypto in the first wallet, right? So a lot of people go in there and they go, oh, I want to create 5 accounts, and they try and it won't let them because you haven't populated the first account. So that's the way it works in Ledger Live. Pretty sure that's the way it works in Trezor Suite. So sorry I don't have all the equipment that I need. It would take me like 5 or 10 minutes just to prepare everything. So maybe next week or something I can do that. But thank you for the question. And the answer is yes. Just make sure that you've populated the first account with a little bit of Ethereum before you try to add that second one. You just go to add account. Let's see here. Like, let me show you in Ledger Live. I mean, you would just go to accounts and say add account, and say I want to add Ethereum account, and you'd have to have your device connected, and as long as your original accounts have some Ethereum in there, they'll let you add another one. If you don't, then it'll say something like, oh, you can't add 2 empty accounts, something like that. Let's see, where are we at here? I got that done. So let's jump into the news real quick while it's still early. We'll briefly touch on the markets. So Bitcoin bounces back to 106K after Iran-Iraq jitters, but analysts warn of deeper pullback. So when the hostilities started, and they started on a Friday, I think it's like the U.S. tells other countries, like, hey, we don't mind if you have wars, just do them on the weekends so you won't affect our stock market. Wait till the markets are closed before you start them. Give everybody a chance to sort of, like get used to the fact that you guys are fighting each other. And then by the time the markets open on Monday, it won't be so bad, right? Don't attack during stock market hours, right? So anyway, yeah, it started on Friday, but Bitcoin is 24/7. Bitcoin went down a little bit when this thing started, but has since bounced back. I believe we're at 105.5, so a little bit below 106, but yeah, we've pulled back. Now, interesting, Circle is up 13% on news that Amazon and Walmart are moving into stable coins. Now, that's pretty interesting. So basically, markets have been down over the last couple of days, but Bitcoin has rebounded a little bit. The altcoins took a pretty good hit. Ether, Avalanche, Toncoin dropping between 6 and 8%. Most crypto stocks were down except for Circle, which is the owner issuer of US dollar coin. It rose 13, and they just recently had their IPO, rose 13%. Because of interest from Amazon and Walmart. Can you imagine Amazon and Walmart accepting stable coins for payment? I mean, that's just going to be insane, right? The market is so jaded now. It used to be stuff like this would just make the market go insane. But the crypto market is much more stable than it used to be. So all of these wonderful announcements of these crypto adoption stories don't really affect crypto as much as they used to, but I'll take it, right? That's going to be huge. So yeah, I mean, that's the market in short. I've got this story linked down below, but I did want to jump into this story. Crypto ownership isn't just Lambos and bros anymore. The National Cryptocurrency Association's 2025 report reveals a surprising normalcy to crypto ownership, spanning construction sites to art studios and challenging long-held stereotypes. Now, you can read the story. I've got the story linked down below, but I did want to cover this story in a little more depth. So if you click, I said the story's linked, so if you get the story pulled up and you click this link here where it says report, it's going to launch it for you in your web browser. But I downloaded the PDF, so we can take a look at this. This is the PDF of the report, and it was, I'll skip to the end here. It was a very scientifically conducted survey, a Harris poll on behalf of the National Cryptocurrency Association among 10,000 cryptocurrency holders. The survey was conducted January 22nd through February 3rd. So pretty scientific survey. So let's take a look here. This is interesting. 1 in 5 Americans, now this is just America, the survey was conducted with among U.S. Users. So 1 in 5 Americans own cryptocurrency. That's pretty interesting. 39% use crypto to pay for goods and services. 76% say crypto has a positive impact on their lives. This is an emerging trend. If you asked me 5 or 10 years ago, I would say that the majority of people that own any crypto at all are investing in it, hoping for a return on their investment. So the fact that 39% of crypto users in this survey are using crypto to actually pay for goods and services, that's really good adoption news. And stable coins are a big part of that, right? So you can have a stable coin in your wallet and not worry about the fluctuation up and down of crypto prices, because stable coins are tied to the price of $1, right? They're always worth $1. So, and I've noticed that there are a lot of sites that accept payment in crypto, and usually it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, which is one of the biggest stable coins, but I think more of them are starting to accept US dollar coin. So that's exciting. And we're, as I mentioned in that earlier story, we've got Amazon and Walmart looking into accepting stablecoin. So that's a big part of crypto adoption. Here's the regional breakdown. 39% of the American crypto holders are in the South, 26% in the West, 17% in the Midwest, and 18% in the Northeast. A little surprising. I would kind of have expected California to be, the West Coast to be more weighted with crypto holders, the tech bros and all that stuff. But this is, a better picture. And it just goes to show that not every crypto holder is like wearing a hoodie with gold chains and driving Lambos. These are day-to-day people. There's some interesting, let's see, yes, this one, the crypto holders next door. These are where crypto holders work. This is kind of a breakdown that they asked them when they filled out the survey. But this is interesting. Part of the reason for such diverse ownership is that crypto has a surprisingly low bar for entry. Those who had more than $100,000 in crypto make up only 11% of the people surveyed, whereas the majority of those who hold crypto have a modest amount. Over half, 55%, hold less than $10,000 worth of crypto, while 15% have less than $500 worth of crypto. So there are a lot of people out there dipping their toes into the crypto market. Really an interesting survey here. Let's see, significant numbers of people use crypto to purchase goods and services. I think this is amazing. Shopping with crypto, bought and sold NFTs, sending crypto to family. I myself gifted my brother, my nephew, and my niece crypto back in 2021 when things were really good. I've gifted crypto to my dad. So it's a great way to gift your family members, more so than, say, a gift card. This is something that, they can have and hold. They can spend it right away if they want to, or they can hang on to it. This is kind of a typical family. They're not experts. They like the fact that crypto is accessible, works globally, offers new ways to save and spend, learning about real-world use cases. Let's see, I wanted to cover, these are the kind of things people can do with crypto. And a lot of the reasons why people hold crypto here: increased financial independence, diversification of investments. They might already have stocks and bonds and gold and silver, but adding crypto to their portfolio is another way of diversifying. a sense of achievement from investment gains. It's always good to see your crypto investments go up. Not so much fun watching them go down. Fun and excitement of being part of a new and innovative field. I find, transferring crypto, buying things with crypto, going out and finding a new crypto and figuring out a way to get it into a wallet. For me, that's exciting and that's fun. And that's one of the reasons I do this channel, because I like sharing that with my audience. Opportunities for learning and personal growth. Now, this is a cool little page here. She's an artist, and it doesn't specifically say how she's done this, but the assumption here is that some of her artwork has been converted into an NFT, because when you sell a piece of art, it's a one-off, right? But when you sell your art as an NFT, you can embed smart contracts in the NFT. And so if you sell that NFT to someone on an auction site and then they sell it later, the smart code in that contract will actually kick a percentage to the original creator. And you can track where your artwork goes on the blockchain. So it's really a great way for artists to get track their artwork and get a return on their investment. Or get a return on the art that they produce. That's not just a one-off, right? Really a cool thing about crypto. You may not have been aware that NFTs work like that. Boosting the global financial system. This is a great 73% feel it's important for the U.S. to become the global leader in crypto. Kind of interesting. I don't know. Obviously, politicians are starting to wake up and take notice of the fact that there are a lot of people in the U.S. that are interested in crypto, right? It's becoming part of political platforms. A lot of Republicans are pro-crypto. A lot of Democrats now that are pro-crypto as well. I've always been hoping that there would be some bipartisan issue that would sort of bring the parties together, because we've seen so much animosity between the parties. When I was a kid, when Reagan was president, Tip O'Neill, there was a lot of bipartisan legislation passed. It's not like that now. Most of the legislation that I see is, the other side votes totally against it. And so the only way they can pass legislation is to turn a few people from the other party. I'm hoping that crypto will not be like that, that's going to be a bipartisan issue. Let's see here. Fundraising. So this gentleman here is involved in fundraising, and it's great that he can accept donations in crypto. People are much more likely to donate using crypto. You can donate very small amounts and still make a difference, and you don't have to worry about your crypto donations being blocked, or having a bunch of fees, depending on how you donate, right? You can donate stable coin on alternate cheap networks like Polygon and Base, where you're basically, there's hardly any fees at all. So this is a great way, it's an easy way to solicit donations. So and the barriers to entry, a lot of you have experienced stuff like this. I understand this one here. 48% were worried about financial losses due to market volatility. I totally get that. 35% are having difficulty understanding cryptocurrency. Totally get that. That's why the channel's here. Stress or anxiety related to managing or tracking investments. And 32% negative experiences with fraud or security breaches. And 29% regulatory or legal challenges. So there's still a lot of progress to be made. Content creator who scaled his business through. He's a content creator. He has a lot of people all over the world that help edit his videos, and getting them paid in a timely manner was always kind of a struggle, but with crypto, it's fast and easy, right? I can send Cardano, I can send Ethereum, I can send Bitcoin to anybody, anywhere in the world within a matter of minutes, right? And I don't have to worry about, the SWIFT system or Western Union or, delays, international border delays, any of that stuff. Crypto is very easy to use worldwide, across the room or across the world with equal ease. So I won't go into this too much longer. We've already used up half our time, but you can download this and check it out. It's pretty interesting. And then you can read all the stats about how they conducted this survey at the end. So cool stuff. Let's see. Okay, I got all that. Here we go. Regarding Trezor and Ethereum, if you connect it through MetaMask, I think you can see other Ether accounts connected with it, even if the first one isn't populated. Yes, yeah, you could see all those other accounts, and actually with MetaMask, you can choose to populate one that's like, in the list. That's true. Thanks for bringing that up, Sunchips. Let's see. Barbara Harris, thank you for your video. I'm new to the crypto world and have learned from you, but I need more info. Dad was in World War II. No, I wasn't in World War II. Your dad was in World War II, not me. I was too young for Vietnam. I was too old when 9/11 hit. I was too old to join the military. So I kind of missed out. I guess... I'm just not a veteran, but I do love my country. So let's see. I wanted to let's look at my little agenda here and see where we're at. Let's talk about the importance of self-custody. Let's go back over here. I have trouble recording these, so when I do them live, it's sort of like I'm forced. All right, so I wanted to talk about self-custody tonight, and I want to implore you to use self-custody if you're into crypto. My mantra is, if you're into crypto, you should be doing self-custody. If you're into self-custody, you should be using a hardware wallet. But let's talk a little bit about self-custody versus secure institutional custody. A lot of people really don't know the difference between that. Well, institutional custody is when your crypto is being held on an exchange like, say, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Gemini, something like that. And that's great if you're a beginner. The problem with that is that you don't control the crypto when it's on an exchange. It's very much like a bank. A lot of people think that that the money in the bank is theirs to get anytime, which the system usually works. But really, when you put your money in a bank, it's the bank's money, and they can do whatever they want with it. They can invest it. They can loan it out. The only stipulation is that they're under a contract to give you your money when you ask for it. But that could fail, right? If the banks fail. It's the same with a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, so that's institutional custody. And before I go into all of the reasons why you shouldn't use institutional custody, I would like to clarify self-custody. There's a couple of things that the first thing you'll know, when I say self-custody, that means you're holding crypto in your own wallet. Now, that's also referred to as a non-custodial wallet. So it's a little confusing when they say non-custodial wallet. Non-custodial means that it's not under someone else's custody, but it does mean that it's under your custody. So a non-custodial wallet is basically self-custody. I know it's a little confusing, but that term does get thrown around a lot. And there are two kinds of self-custody. There are hot wallets and there are cold wallets or hardware wallets. Now, like I said, if you're into crypto, you should be doing self-custody. So I'm not going to begrudge you if you're using a hot wallet. A lot of people do. I think the majority of people use hot wallets. That basically just means that your wallet is connected to the internet. And that means that your private key is exposed to the internet. Now, if your computer is safe and sound or your phone is safe and sound, that's all well and good. But the fact that the private key, which is the part of the wallet that actually stores the authorization part of the wallet, think of it as the keys to your car, that part of the wallet resides on a device that is connected to the internet. So that is inherently risky. People might hack you. There might be keyloggers. Like if you have a phone, there could be malware on your phone that would give someone remote access to your private key and thus your crypto. A cold wallet or a hardware wallet is a wallet where the private key is stored separately. That is the authorization. Think of it as your car key, as I mentioned earlier. So if you want to withdraw crypto from your wallet, you have to connect the device, like we talked about the one key. You connect your device using Bluetooth, NFC, or your cable, and then you authorize the transaction. So let me talk about why you should not be using institutional custody. Let's go over here. Let's go back for a trip down memory lane. So a lot of people, when they think of the worst case scenario for self-custody, this is the best example is the collapse of FTX, which was a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, when people were storing, say, their Bitcoin on FTX and FTX went bankrupt, they immediately lost access to their crypto. Now, people are slowly, I've read some news lately that they are being reimbursed for their crypto holdings. But you have to remember, they were cut off from their crypto investments since 2022. So nobody wants to be cut off from their investments for that long of a period. Whether they eventually get their money back or not, right? That's what happens with institutional custody. And also another drawback to this is that they're paying them back for the cash value of their crypto. So in other words, instead of saying, hey, you put half a Bitcoin in FTX, they said, hey, you had half a Bitcoin in FTX on such and such a date when we went bankrupt, and so we'll pay you back the money that it was worth then. Well, Bitcoin's worth a lot more now. When FTX collapsed, Bitcoin was, around 50,000. It's doubled in value since then. So all of these are drawbacks to having stored your crypto on a self-custody exchange. But that's just the worst case scenario. Let's look at let's go into it a little bit more here. Now, a lot of people were using Binance, including me, in the early days, like 2017, 18, and 19. Well, because of all the regulatory flack that cryptocurrency exchanges were getting, Binance decided to cut off U.S. users permanently. So if I go to Binance now, I'm going to get an alert telling me that I can't use Binance because I'm in the U.S. And you might say, oh, well, so don't use Binance anymore. Well, as it turns out, Binance was a really good crypto exchange that had access to a lot of new coins. So I was cut off from that, not to mention the fact that because Binance will no longer allow U.S. customers to access, they had to basically close their accounts. And so if I needed my crypto trading history to do my taxes or whatever, there's no way I can log into Binance anymore and get that history. Now, I've talked to a lot of people through email and comments that say, hey, I'm trying to do my taxes and I can't get my trading history off Binance because they've closed my account. A lot of people also couldn't figure out how to withdraw their crypto. So not just Binance, but KuCoin is another one. I had a lot of crypto on KuCoin as well. And so basically what happens when they shut down access for US users is that they will allow you to log in and withdraw your crypto, but they will not allow you to trade or consolidate or anything else like that. So A lot of people were trading on KuCoin, and they had a whole bunch of like really obscure little cryptos, and they really had no idea how to put any of those in a wallet. Some of them, if you're just like, hey, you hear something about a crypto, you run out and you buy it on Binance or KuCoin, and then it's sitting in the account, and now you can't trade it for anything else, and you can't figure out how to withdraw because that's complicated. You're going to have to get a wallet, right? So that's another drawback to using institutional custody. If you had had your crypto in your own wallet, you would have had your Bitcoin when FTX collapsed. You would have had your Bitcoin or whatever crypto safe and sound in your wallet when Binance cut off US users or when KuCoin cut off US users. So let's take another scenario that's even a worse case. There are a lot of people using Coinbase right now. Coinbase has fraud protection. They're trying to prevent people from committing fraud on their platform. Unfortunately, some of their flags get thrown on people doing very innocent things on their platform, and they get their accounts frozen. Believe me, I have heard so many sob stories about people that got their accounts frozen on Coinbase. This is a real issue. So Coinbase is great. Coinbase is the top cryptocurrency in the US. But you could arbitrarily get your account frozen and lose access to your crypto if you're storing the bulk of your crypto on Coinbase, right? So you could lose access to your crypto. So what if you wanted to sell? You couldn't sell. Right? What if you wanted to cash out? You couldn't cash out because Coinbase arbitrarily froze your account. Now, this story here I've got linked down in the description if you want to read about it a little more. So Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, is saying that account freezing is a major issue, right? And we've reduced the problem by 82%, so they say, right? But this is a real pitfall for when you're storing your crypto using institutional custody. And this is like a top tier cryptocurrency exchange. So it could collapse. It could cut off US users. You could get your account frozen, right? There's so many things that can go wrong when you're using institutional custody. You should be using a wallet. So you saw me earlier go through a lot of deals on hardware wallets. There's a whole host of hardware wallets out there to choose from. And that video that I talked about with Cyber Skrilla, he went through this whole issue of people buying wallets that were too complicated to use and then losing their crypto. So there are pitfalls to self-custody. But if you buy a wallet that's right for you, like Tangem, he mentions Tangem being the number one easiest to use wallet, and I totally agree with him. Every wallet has its pros and cons. You might want a ledger device. You might want an easy-to-use Tangem device. But there are a lot of wallets out there that are really difficult to use, and people think, oh, I need the most secure wallet in the world. Well, you can lose crypto. Now, one key is a great and easy-to-use touchscreen wallet, right? So that's something you could think about. And then the Descent is like really easy to use. So you have to do your own research. I can't tell you which hardware wallet to buy. That's a personal decision. I have thousands of videos on YouTube. Go check out one of my videos if you're not sure which wallet to get. Do a little of your own research, because crypto is not the sort of thing that you want to approach with the just tell me what to do attitude, right? I mean, there are certain things like that, like, I don't know, I can't think of anything off that. Well, what's the best blender to buy, right? So, you do a little research, you go to Consumer Reports, you go to Amazon, you compare prices or whatever, and there may be the best blender out there, but it's going to be expensive, right? So you have to decide your price range before you buy a blender. It's the same with crypto hardware wallets, right? Don't just ask me what's the best wallet, because there's prices, there's ease of use, there's security, there's all kinds of considerations. So, but that's kind of where we're at with self-custody. And if you just want to use, there are free wallets out there like MetaMask. MetaMask is a totally free browser extension that you can use, but it is a hot wallet, right? The private keys for MetaMask are stored on your computer, right? They're exposed to the internet. Now you can use wallets like MetaMask in conjunction with a hardware device for more advanced users. But please, the cryptocurrency exchanges have their uses. I use Coinbase all the time, but I also have more than one account. Not on Coinbase, but I have Binance US, I have Gemini. I don't have Gemini, sorry. Kraken, I have a Kraken account. I used to have a lot, right? I used to have Binance and KuCoin, but I don't have those anymore. But I have an Uphold account, I have a Crypto.com account. So I have that flexibility. If Coinbase goes down, my crypto's in my wallet. I could sell it anywhere. I can move it to Kraken and sell it. I can move it to Crypto.com and sell it. I can move it to Uphold and sell it. So you should be flexible. So have more than one they're good for onboarding and offboarding, right? But don't store your crypto long-term on an exchange. It's not the place to store your crypto. Now, and other people will say, well, I'm thinking of selling, so I don't want to store it in a wallet. I want to be able to sell it as soon as I want to sell it. That's all well and good, but you should practice learning how to sell the crypto out of your wallet when you're ready, right? In other words, I can transfer Bitcoin to Coinbase, sell the Bitcoin, and cash out to my bank in just a few minutes, right? It's not that difficult. So learn how to manage crypto on your own wallet. Learn how to send and receive crypto. All that good stuff. Somebody here, I think, is hungry. Come here. Let's see if we can get this. All right. So somebody's hungry, even though he got a rabbit. Yes, he got a rabbit today. But Daddy threw it in the trash. Right? But now I think he wants his dinner. But we'll get the cat fed. He's like running back and forth and rubbing my leg here. Let's see where we're at here. Anyhow, that's my spiel. Institutional custody. Please don't store your crypto long term on an exchange, right? There's so many things that could happen that could be anywhere from a minor inconvenience to, life-changing financial. I'm sure there were people that had crypto on FTX in 2022 that were devastated when they lost access to their crypto. And getting the dollar value of it back in 2025 is probably too little too late, right? And then, like I said, losing access as a U.S. user, it's arbitrary, right? You never know. All of a sudden, boom, hey, you got to get your crypto off this exchange. And then account freezes. And this is just the stuff that could happen that's not your fault, right? There are things you could do that are your fault that could be a problem with exchanges as well, right? You could forget your password and not be able to get into your account, right? You could lose your phone that has your two-factor authentication on it. There's so many pitfalls to accessing custodial cryptocurrency. You should really learn how to manage crypto in a wallet. Let's see here. Fred McIntyre just checked in the mailbox. My Elapol card just arrived. Hey, that's really cool, Fred. They contacted me about that Elapol X and asked me if I wanted to demo one, and I told them yes. So they're sending me one. So I should be getting one of those, and I'll do a setup video on the Elapol X card. Wish Descent would upgrade to USB-C. I believe they have. I think I talked to them about this. Yeah, the older ones had the micro USB connector, which is kind of nobody uses that cable anymore. I am pretty sure that their newer ones have USB-C connector. But I'm not sure. They haven't sent me. Oh, well, actually, I don't know where it is. I'm not going to like dig through my boxes right now. But I thought that they had upgraded to USB-C. Yeah, I don't see it here. Yeah, but that you're not the only person that has told them that. So I'm pretty sure that they've got USB-C. I can't find it right now. My Coinbase account has been frozen for months, and I feel like I'm a white hat blue chip customer. Recently, Coinbase finally unfroze it, and now I have good functionality. Yeah, if you, I think in this story that I was talking about here, there was some links to Yeah, there was a link to their X page, and there were a lot of people. Let me see. I think it's here. Yeah, if you look at this X post, I don't know why it's doing this. Oh, it's because I'm in the wrong browser. Let's link it over here. Oh, Kitty will not stop rubbing me. Okay, so I don't know. There were some cases that people like. For example, there was one guy that transferred $10 worth of cryptocurrency, and for some reason they flagged it and froze his account. There was someone that got an alert from Coinbase saying that their withdrawal limit had been raised from like whatever it was, like it was $1,000, and they got an email from Coinbase saying, "Oh, we've just raised your withdrawal limit to 10,000, whatever." And then they went and tried to make a withdrawal of a higher amount because they just got an alert that their withdrawal limit had been raised, and then their account got frozen. So case stories like that, very arbitrary how they freeze accounts, right? Tangem is not working with iOS 26. So if you don't have another phone, you have to wait for a new update. I think Tangem should work also with computers. I just checked my iPhone earlier today, and it told me that it's up to date. It did offer me the beta version of iOS 26, but I did a beta version of an iOS way back in 2014 or 15, or maybe even before that, and it just messed me up bad. I do not download iOS beta updates. I wait for the final version. But they may have rolled out the final version of iOS 26 for you, wherever you may be. Yeah, that could be. I'm sure there's a lot of things that aren't going to work when you jump up into a brand new iOS like that. I'm sorry to hear that Tangem doesn't work with iOS 2.6. But I'm sure there are a lot of companies out there kind of playing catch up, with their apps and everything else to be compatible with iOS 26. But hats off to you for jumping in with both feet on that one. Tangem will not work with a computer just because of its philosophy and its design. It's supposed to be simple and easy to use, and there's really no way to connect a Tangem's work with NFC, near field communication, and there are no near field communication compatibility on PCs. I mean, you might be able to find a weird connector card somewhere that might connect to your PC's USB port and give you NFC, but day to day, the PCs don't work with NFC, and that's the whole idea behind Tangem. The Tangem card, the Tangem ring are NFC The key is completely separate. There's no cables, there's no chargers. So if they wanted to be compatible with PC, they'd have to introduce all these attachments and connectors and all that kind of weird stuff. So that's why Tangem does not work with a PC. But I understand your frustration, totally. Fred, Doc, right, you shouldn't have to enter a seed phrase to update your device. Oh, is someone saying, Doc, right? Oh, please, Doc, please don't. I just saw that. Thanks for telling him that, Fred. You recently updated your Ledger Flex. Do you have to put in your word phrase just to update it? No, you should never have to put in your seed phrase to update your device. Now, there are 3 different ways to update a Ledger device, right? There's 3 different types of updates. There's the Ledger Live update, which is just a new version of their Ledger Live software. That is pretty straightforward. There's usually a banner that'll show up in your Ledger Live, says there's a new version of Ledger Live. You can run the update by clicking update. But when you quit Ledger Live and then open it again, it'll automatically install the update. So you don't have to enter your seed phrase for that. And if your Ledger Live is asking you for a seed phrase, then you've got some malware on your computer, right? So just updating Ledger Live does not require a seed phrase. If you go into the My Ledger section over here and you get your device connected, you can update your firmware or you can update apps. When you and then you'll allow secure connection. I just touched that button on my device. I'm pretty sure I'm fully up to date here. I'm running 1.2.2 for my Ledger Flex, so it's completely up to date. When you update the firmware on your device, it does tell you to make sure you have your seed phrase, but it's very rare that the device will get bricked and you'll have to restore, especially with these newer devices. But it's always best practice to make sure you have your seed phrase ready in case of an emergency. But when you update your firmware, if everything goes to plan, you won't need your seed phrase. They'll tell you make sure you have it, but you won't need to use it during the firmware update. Running the firmware update, you'll connect your device, and then halfway through, you'll be asked to enter your PIN again, but not your 24-word seed phrase. And then if you have app updates, which will show up here below, all you have to do is connect your device and run the app update. It won't reset your device or anything weird like that. A firmware update does sort of reset the device, but the way that they run the firmware updates now, it takes a snapshot of all your apps before it runs, and then after it's done updating the firmware, it automatically reinstalls all of the apps that you had on there before. And you don't need your seed phrase. Although some people, when they get to that point of the firmware update, it says something like, you want to go ahead and reinstall all your apps, and the affirmative is the default, but some people don't do it. Some people just dismiss that, and then they don't have any apps on their device when they're done with their firmware update, and then they panic. But all you have to do in that situation is just reinstall whatever apps you had on there before. You have to use a little common sense in your memory. You can go check your accounts, right? If you got a Bitcoin account, then you probably had the Bitcoin app on your device, right? If you got the Tron app, you probably had the Tron app on your device. So just go through and reinstall the apps that you had on there before manually. You don't need your seed phrase to do that. So anytime you download software, or if you get an email alert telling you that you need to run a security update on your Ledger, those are mostly scams. And if you click the link in that email, that's going to take you to a web page that looks a lot like Ledger Live, and they're going to try to trick you into thinking that that's Ledger Live, and they will ask for a password. I'm sorry, they will ask you for their seed phrase, your seed phrase, because they're trying to steal your crypto. So don't do it. Two-factor necessary with password keys used. You can use your Ledger device as a passkey if you want to, but you don't really need a passkey or two-factor on your Ledger Live software. I don't think you can enable it. So I know it's a little confusing, but you really don't need to put a two-factor authentication or a passkey on Ledger Live. The password is disabled by default, so you don't need a password to log into Ledger Live, and access to the crypto is controlled by the device. The device acts as the two-factor, really. It is the thing that you have, right? There's always the thing that you know, which is your login, your password, the thing that you have, which is your device. In many cases, that's your phone. But in the case of Ledger Live, it's the device. So there's no need that they have a two-factor application. You can actually use your device as a two-factor, a hardware two-factor if you want to, but that's completely separate from using it as Ledger Live. I don't even know. They may not have that anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to the app catalog. FIFO. They used to have this thing. Maybe they don't even have it anymore. They used to have a two-factor app that would allow it to function kind of like a YubiKey, and you could use it for websites and everything. I just found it a little bit too cumbersome to be used as a hardware device for my two-factor because you had to unlock it, connect it, just to log into a site that requires two-factor. You're much better off using Google Authenticator on your phone than using your device as a two-factor. But the passkey functionality, which is, I think I have it on here. Maybe I don't. Okay. No. Where'd it go? I think I took it off here. I wouldn't. Ledger sync. Oh, let me see. Let me get my. Oh, I don't even use it on my Flex. Let me connect my STAX real quick. I'll show you. I have to enter my PIN. If you'll just indulge me for a moment. All right. Ugh, come on. This thing is just not cooperating. Oh, there it is. Security key. Let me go over here. See that security key? That one is the app that you can install that will allow this device to be used as a passkey, a hardware passkey on websites. I use it for Coinbase and Kraken, but it's not required to access your crypto from your device, right? It's just kind of a cool thing. I like to use it, but it's kind of an advanced feature, right? Let's see. Google Authenticator, Coinbase, both on my phone only. Yeah. If you're doing two-factor on Coinbase, you can use Google Authenticator. But I'm going to wrap it up here. But I will say that Coinbase can be a little tricky because sometimes when you log into Coinbase, you may already be using two-factor. You may already have Google Authenticator. And you've been doing that for a long time. Well, Coinbase will try to trick you into setting up a pass phrase. No, not pass phrase, pardon me. Pass key. I'm trying to be very precise the way I talk about this. You'll log into Coinbase and it will say, hey, do you want to set up a pass key? And the default is yes. right? And so a lot of people do that. I'm going to throw all caution to the wind, and I'll do this for you guys. I don't like doing this because I hate logging out of my Coinbase account. I'm always got my fingers crossed. Oh, am I going to be able to get back in? So let's sign out. All right, so let's do sign in. It's all funky here. See, they got this sign in with passkey. I'm going to log in. It keeps telling me, do you want to use your passkey? Well, I don't have a passkey, so I got to use my password. Now it wants my hardware device. Confirm your passkey. But they're not doing what I wanted them to do. But anyway, I'll do this. I'll show you what's going on here. So it comes up, and then it asks me to sign in. But it's a little tricky because in the beginning it's asking me for a passkey. But what I was trying to get to happen, which I couldn't get to happen, was a lot of times Coinbase will say, when you go to log in, it'll go, hey, do you want to set up a passkey? And a lot of unsuspecting users go, sure, why not? Because it's the default. So I think it even says continue, right? Instead of no thanks or whatever, right? So you hit continue, and then Coinbase will set up your device as a passkey, which means if you're using your laptop, it'll set up your laptop as your passkey. Or if you're on a desktop, when you log into Coinbase and you say, sure, I'll use passkey, it sets up your desktop computer as your passkey. In other words, Coinbase will detect the device that you're using to log in and like give it a lifetime authorization. And that's why a lot of people, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, why doesn't Coinbase ask me for a password anymore? That's because it tricked you into setting up your own device as a passkey. Now that's all well and good until your computer crashes or you lose your laptop, right? The same with your phone too. Coinbase will do it on your phone too. When you log in to using your password on your phone, Coinbase will go, hey, you want to set up a passkey? And you say continue, and then all of a sudden your phone is your passkey and it's not asking you for your password anymore, which is all well and good until you lose your phone. And then you're kind of screwed, right? Because you got to jump through all kinds of hoops to regain access to your account. So keep that in mind. A lot of sites are doing that now. I think Amazon, almost everybody's doing that. Like, hey, you want to set up your passkey now? It's like, okay, yeah, but that's all well and good. But if the device you're on, or you try to log in from, you're on summer vacation and you're at grandma's house and you're trying to check your portfolio, it won't let you log in because you don't have the passkey. I think it will still allow you to log in using your password, but you'll have to jump through all kinds of hoops, right? So anyway, how do you stop the passkey? I think you have to, I can't do it because it would reveal private information, but you go to your settings, and then from settings you go to account, and then somewhere in there you can remove the passkey, disable the passkey. But it's hard for me to show you live because I can't blur out. It shows my phone number and my address when I do that. But that's the steps. You go to settings, and then account, and then security. Or I think there's a two-factor section where you can turn off the passkey functionality and just use your password and your Google Authenticator. Anywho, kind of got in the weeds there a little bit. But hopefully you guys got something out of tonight. I know I rambled on a little bit about the crypto adoption survey, but I thought that was really cool. You should all be very proud of yourselves that you're involved in crypto. And if you've been following my channel, I'm assuming that you're in some kind of self-custody. I would hope that, you feel comfortable with, going out and getting yourself, a Ledger or a Trezor or a Tangem or a One Key or a Descent. There's a lot of wallets out there. I'm not I try to stay objective. I just think if you're doing crypto, you should be doing self-custody. If you're doing self-custody, you should be using a hardware wallet of some kind, right? Thank you guys for being here tonight. We're going to sign out. I'll be here again next week, Saturday, every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. Check out my channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again soon. Good night, everybody. Thanks for reminding Fred. Always a pleasure having you here.